We are live on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm trying to say things a little more excitingly during the first 30 seconds because the first 30 seconds is often what most people actually even watch. So I'm thinking if I get really, really excited and I'm going to talk about Grant Hatcher is here, we're going to
What's
talk, we're
up?
going to we're going to have some fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun with Grant. We're going to have fun with the Grant.
Gonna fun. Hey, I'm here with my friend
Grant.
Josh. Haven't talked in a really long time, so we're doing it right now while I try to rhyme. Sitting here in this computer is kind of funny, but it's feeling really good because my name is G Buddy. Hey,
Yeah, there you go. If that doesn't catch people, then I don't know what the fuck could.
I know it's instant viral. That's instant viral material. Yeah.
Speaking of viral material, I have literally in my head walked around with I'm a content creator, almost almost like when I'm a little bit like stuck too. I've been using it as an anthem.
It's so
So I
funny.
just
So many people have like messaged me. Actually, uh it was Emma's mom. So she finally saw it, and then she was like doing something like she needed to she was like had an art project and there was like a theme. And I can't remember what the theme was about, but she started saying like I'm a da 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 da, like trying to get into the theme, and she starts saying it. She's like, yeah, that feels real good. And she's like, why does it sound and feel so familiar? But she's like, oh, it's a goddamn content creator. That's why I can say it.
well,
It
I
was
also I've been going through the same thing, man. So you never know when you create content exactly how many people it touches, right?
yeah.
Just because like literally in like as an anthem in my fucking head, and especially when I've come up against troubles. I'm a content creator. And I imagine everyone behind the
You're a
the
literal content
creator.
creator, so like it literally like has meaningful impact to you, like directly.
Yeah, your content created content creates content
It's
through
something
content, man.
Emma got the jingle and the idea. I can't remember how it happened, but it was months and months ago anyway, and it's just been in the back of my mind. It's like this idea, kind of like, oh, you get close to doing something, and you get close to doing something. It's like it's all here right now. It's like Emma's here. Let's do it. Let's go. And we did it. Like
And
I
was
just
that you breaking the seal to make more content? Is that the idea?
No, it wasn't even that. It was funny because I haven't done anything. This is the first thing I've done since then, pretty
That's
much.
what I thought. I thought maybe you were like, oh fuck, how do I make content? Where do I make content? I know, let's make content about content. But
Yeah, no, it
damn
was
it.
just like how silly it would be because I just kind of like, there's so like, remember when me and you were kind of making our videos? It was like there wasn't a whole lot of people kind of doing it, but now there's just like so many different. uh I don't know if I lost you here, Josh, or you kind of froze on me.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm just trying to tag your name in Facebook on the stream
And
just to make.
yeah. It's so easy to make video content right now. So I was just like, I have so many people with those circle lights that I've seen. So I don't know. It was just kind of funny. Just a funny little thing that I just wanted to make. Like, yeah.
I got a circle light.
It's a circle light.
That's
It's
that's
funny.
my
Yeah, that's
dog.
for Emma
He's
because
content.
I did my thing and then Emma does her thing after. It's like I could check out my circle light and I was like, holy shit, you know what I mean? And it's just our first flow too. Like nothing's rehearsed, nothing's like it's both freewheeling it. I freewheel over it and then she freewheels over it. Then I kind of like cut up like what kind of works and stick it together, and it's like that was it.
Well, you guys have now found your process because you could emulate that and make lots of content, right?
Yeah, we've done a couple of things together, man, and Emma's right good at just being like, all right, like let's jump into this weird fucking reality you're trying to create here, and then she'll just, and she's silly too.
Hey,
So,
remember live streams?
man, yeah, I was talking about this recently to somebody, yeah, because it's like
Me,
it's
me and
basically
Grant.
here. It's like it's getting closer and closer.
That's what I'm saying. Me and Grant and a friend called Greg spent a lot of time, and actually, I spent quite a bit of money, and Greg spent even more on creating a website that would have these live stream chats where you could bring people onto the screen, and you could make money from it and all that shit. And Facebook's just doing all of it now.
Yeah,
There you
and we
go. I
kind of
got
knew it was going to happen, right? Like because it was
yeah, but that was
part of it was over here, and the other part was over there, and like Twitch, and then that half Facebook, have this. We were like, let's do all this one thing together. But it's like, man, that was not a long time ago, but what, 5 years ago or more? You've had that idea,
2015 was when the
yeah,
idea came out because it was
years ago.
before Facebook Live. before
Yeah,
Facebook Live did its thing. And I remember being like, fuck, this is possible. It's going to be like this and it's going to be like that. But it is funny because almost everything is now monetizing as well. Twitter's talking about doing it. YouTube's talking about doing it. Facebook is doing it now with stars. So it's just like, yeah, it's all happening, man. And almost all of the features are still not all there, though. We still had some
yeah.
ideas that no one's ever touched yet. But in general, yeah, I still feel very proud of those ideas, even though we weren't able to fulfill them in the way that we thought.
Yeah, yeah, it was put a lot of work into it. You like you said, you guys most I kind of came in like near the end of our like try for it, and like but it's
Welcome to
yeah,
life.
you're just happy that it's kind of getting closer anyway because
Yeah,
it was
I
a
am. I am.
tool that we wanted to use because we wanted because it was we were stuck with like this doesn't work fully for what we want to do and this doesn't work fully. So we need something that kind of does it all. And it's like if it's going to be there, then we're going to use it. So like yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny, man. We gave it a crack. What do
Yeah.
you think of the whole Elon Musk Twitter situation?
I haven't followed it like super duper close, I thought it was like it's so interesting this kind of like trajectory, like because Elon was like he was not even that long ago, like he was so cool and like people kind of liked him, and then it was just like other things started happening, like no, like f this guy, f this billionaire stuff, you know what I mean? And then it's like but it's like he's a smart guy, but at the same time, like I don't know. And then he gets Twitter, and he just kind of seems like he like didn't know
He's just
exactly
trolling
what he
now.
was doing,
Uh, he's, he's trolling like a crazy man now. He's trying to
Yeah.
get people pissed off, and it's
Okay.
working.
Yeah. I don't even know. Yeah. I don't even
Yeah.
know. I just know there's people making like fake accounts that because you just pay $7 and you get because that was the big thing, right? The check meant you're really this person. And like that was kind of what they, like celebrities. If you had the blue check, like that was the famous person, whoever it was. But then I think it was like, if you just paid $7, you got it automatically. So there was people pretending to be
Sarah
like,
Silverman did. Sarah Silverman made herself Elon Musk.
yeah, but there was people who were like, "Hey, I'm Procter and Gamble, the multi-billion-dollar drug company. Like, we just found like this gives birth defects or something." And it was like, and the stock would just like the real stock of these companies like really did matter like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a time of pandemonium and chaos, is what it seems like.
Yeah, it feels like if anything, man, I would say it's like a metaphor for like reality. It's like, whoa, everything feels pretty loose right now. It's like there's a lot of wiggle room and like ability to like things are wobbly, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, all the norms can't settle still. I don't like that it's giving right-wing voices like a big chance to say their piece, just because oftentimes it's often horseshit. I do like that things are in chaos a little bit, just because. Well, here, it's not that I like things are in chaos. Things were just in chaos in a very out of control way for like 2.5, 3 years. And I was talking to this with a friend the other day, like here in Australia in particular, no one talks about vaccines. No one talks about the coronavirus. Everyone gets the coronavirus. We get it like fucking, I've had it like 3 times now since it all happened. And it's a funny situation though, because there's absolutely no accountability for whoever created this fucking thing. Like absolutely no accountability for however this came to pass. This is of course assuming that it's not a natural movement that happened, but I just think it's interesting. Let's picture it isn't natural, just for fun, like to entertain a thought form. And are we all just going to literally move on? Like, well, that was weird.
I think that's what people kind of do with everything else, right? Like it's kind of like there's been a lot of things that it's like, wow, this is actually completely effed up, man. But it's like, and I'm not even saying that's what the coronavirus is. Like, I don't know. So I don't know the full answer. But there's so many things that just happen and they just slide right on by, man. It's so wild. Like the whole, honestly, the big thing to me is like the whole Jeffrey Epstein stuff. It's like there
I know.
was a list somewhere out there of all of these really, like high influential people, potentially past presidents that have been going to this island, have sex with these underage children. And it's like, yeah, that was a couple years ago now, we're not even there. We're not thinking about it no more. It's like,
Decades of pain and destruction. Ah, well,
oh
must
man,
have
it's
committed
weird,
suicide.
man. It's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. Yeah. And I don't
Yeah.
know. There's some sort of lack of accountability overall, and a lack of and a lack of empathy overall that's not sustainable. It's like
Yeah.
imagine a relationship, like like imagine me and you, our friendship, you know, there's things that just, oh, it's like, whoa, Grant punched me in the face last week, or like, you know what I mean? Or like Josh stole $200 from me, you know? And it's like, if we don't talk about this and if we don't work through it, eventually it's gonna screw our entire relationship up, you know, or it's gonna, our
I
relationship
know I
healthy.
know
We're
I
gonna
stole that 200 off you, but I'll tell you right now, I'll do it again.
yeah, exactly.
You're gonna forget in a couple days anyway, aren't you?
Yeah,
Come
to the
on.
point where it's like maybe I don't even care no more. It's too hard to think about. Oh my god, it's like too hard for me to even put mental energy into thinking about Josh stealing money from me because I got so much other things I need to worry about, you know? And it's like that's kind of what it feels like we're at, man. It's like, and that's why things feel loose because like there's just it feels like there's so much going on that's been going on for a little while and it's not being fully addressed to the point that it's like we're trying to squeeze the last bit of the toothpaste out of the tube in this kind of like method. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know, man.
yeah, no, that's a really, really interesting way to put it. And you could take oil and all of the other finite resources that we're doing that and call that the what's coming out of the tube as well.
Yes.
Just want to say real quick, my friend Mark Hughes came up to say, "Hello, I've got to track you down. Sit at your feet, open my ears. Most fave young guy spreading love. Us oldies don't like talking about trauma. Enjoy the day."
Wow.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that, man. And it's interesting. Yeah, that was also something that you and I started doing quite early, like in 2015, started talking about our traumas, our shadows, our pains, and all that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
although people were doing it, it definitely has become popularized since then. You know, you made that beautiful video expressing the internal masculine damage that came from living in a rural place in Nova Scotia. And I remember that was the first time you ever went viral, so to speak, correct?
Yeah, yeah, that was like 20,000 views in a day, you know what I mean? And it was like it was one of those like it was like I knew I had to make this video, talking to a friend, she kind of inspired me to do it, and so I went and did it. Again, like you said, talking about growing up in rural Cape Breton, lost my father to suicide, talk and just talking about the substance abuse too, not even being like, "Oh, suicide, man." Like, yeah, suicide really sucks, but it's like there's a step by step process usually to kind of get there and how it's really not that hard to kind of intervene, but we just even still to this day we still don't have a lot of the right resources to properly intervene in that, you know. And so but you like you said, now it seems to be more, that was like probably 5 to 7 years ago, again roughly the same time live stream, you know, and stuff. So it was like 5 to 7 years removed, again more people have platforms, kind of like I was saying before. And it's a really, I was telling this to Emma, it was like, you know, we got all these platforms, some people hate them, whatever, TikTok, you know, but it's like we can use these outlets to our benefit. It's just like any other tool in the world, you know. It's like you can choose to use it for this or you can choose to use it for that, you know. So it's cool that there are these outlets to like express yourself more, and people are talking about trauma more, you know. Some of it is performative, you know what I mean? I'm going to do this and talk about this just so I can get these likes and things, you know what I mean? But it's pretty hard to like demonize somebody if that's their way of even talking about it, you know. It's like it's really refreshing to see that there are more people talking about, more people aware.
In a weird way, it's kind of made a lot more people, quote unquote, celebrities. And I don't mean celebrities, but I mean that feeling that you get when you can speak and people will listen. It
Yes.
has, I think, scratched an itch for a lot of people. Because think about how many people would spend, let's say, their whole lives being like, one day I'm going to get famous. One day I'm going to get famous. And when I get famous, I'm going to be able to finally say what I want to say to the world. You know, like I'd say I'd say most people have some kind of inkling on the inside that veers towards that in some sense. And
Yeah, of
here it
course.
is. Everyone's
Yeah,
got it now, man. Like
totally.
yeah, this is the first time in it. And it might not even last, guys. Like fuck. There could be a time 10 years from now when we look back at this and go, wow, that was a real moment of freedom in human history that we were able to participate in.
It
You
could go
know,
in
like
either
that
direction.
maybe it could.
Like, yeah.
I hope that obviously my goal and intention and heart and everything is focused on us coming into a free and loving society. But what, if you look historically, it wouldn't say that's the way it's going. You know, like this would be the time before the Great Depression, if you take cycles into account.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know,
yeah,
man. And it's like, have a great night, Emma. Emma's going to a an exercise.
love
Um,
you, Emma.
yeah. She's doing pole dancing, actually. She's gonna try pole dancing for the first time.
I
Yeah.
fucking killer
It's so
girl.
sweet No, and I'm like, uh, um, yeah, it's what did you just say about that? Sorry, I distracted.
Oh,
So you're saying
just that everyone gets to scratch that itch of having their voice heard, and it might
oh,
not
where's the
last this
when
way.
is it gonna go? Which direction is gonna go? It's kind of like it's almost feeling like, oh, man, it feels like I just don't want to say it too much. That like we need it's like we're gonna go through a little bit of turmoil to kind of get to that place that we are aiming to get to, you know, like, and that's how a
Right.
lot of I think life's patterns go. You know what I mean? Like it needs to go through like transition phase, and that's like, whew, and then we finally get to this place, and you
It's a
know, and
quickie,
it's
man. It's a quickie. This has been a fast transition compared to relative history.
yeah, everything's speeding up, man. It's like technology, our ability to communicate globally is like that's such a huge thing, man. That happens so fast. Like I'm watching a TV series called The Wire. It's like an old. I've always heard it was a good show. It's kind of like this old from the 2000s, man. The 2000s, almost 20 years ago, of like this crime documentary and stuff. And so, but it's like the video quality is terrible. Like it's really not as like our phones would shoot master. Like if they saw the quality of like your face right now on any screen back then, it would have been like, oh my god. So it's like how quick, even just in 20 years, our ability to communicate together is exponentially grown. And then it's like you think about, you know, Elon, and he wants to create the Neuralink. And I know you're kind of like super interested in stuff, but it's like we have tapped our consciousness in very much deeper to technology. Hey, Willow, it's okay, honey. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We've tapped into technology a lot already. You know what I mean? Like our consciousness is in our profiles and in these videos and stuff, you know, whereas 20 years ago, it was like barely send a text, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. But I am looking forward to a positive future. It just curious about this just this agenda 20 to 2030 thing as well. I spent a lot of time during the start of that coronavirus pretty neutral, like pretty middle ground, and I have to say a part of me is just trickling towards actually something might be afoot. And it would be probably best for us to keep that in mind rather than
What's
just be
the
like,
agenda 2030?
sure.
Tell me what it is.
Oh, Agenda 2030 is the idea that it's been presented by the World Economic Forum, and the big
Right.
thing that they keep saying is you will own nothing and you will be happy. And the idea is, I can tell you my theory. My theory is a digital currency is going to come out through our phones, and people are going to actually give us new money because it's going to be like the Great Depression. And you know how during the Great Depression, that's when the Federal Reserve was created and a new fiat currency kind of flew through. I feel like that's going to happen again, except with digital currency. And the offer is going to be if you sign up for our digital currency, you kind of have to sign away your rights to all the stuff that you have, but you'll have unlimited money. So you never have to worry about that again.
Mm,
Um, which is cool. And it could actually be a good thing. It could be really helpful, actually, for us to get out of poverty and to start a new system. But the idea of signing over like our consent towards things that we might not know about freaks me the fuck
right.
out. So that's the two, and I don't know. Maybe none of this will happen, man. Maybe everything will just go on as normal for the next 200 years. But I don't think so. And
I
I'm
don't,
a big
I
fan.
don't,
I'm a big
yeah.
fan of digital currencies. I'm a big fan of UBI, which I think is going to be a part of all of this. But I do think it is going to be. We're going to have to sign. Well, obviously, just signing into whatever app it is, we're going to have to give our consent. And there might be something in that we then look back at, let's say 10, 15 years later and go, oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I don't know for sure if that's the direction we're going, you know, but like there is some funky vibes. And like, honestly, just this week, even I've been like, there's something I need to be paying more attention to. And it's like, it felt a bit of the sinister vibe, you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, how many things do we do? Like, you know, click, like, I agree, you know, even on Facebook and things like that. And it's like, well, what are we agreeing to here? You know what I mean? And it's like,
Well,
I
right
like
now I've
now.
agreed to my entire family's catalog of pictures just being in the space. So that's just like one
Yeah,
small thing, right? But if
yeah,
that same bar kept on getting pushed further and slowly further and further, then it could become an issue.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe they'll own my shoes.
And I think the
Maybe
thing
they'll
about
own
data collection too, it's like it's not bad necessarily until it is used for bad, you know, and it is being used for bad, you know, it is. Every country basically now has access to our phones. Like they could just easily tap into it and be like, "Who is Grant Hatcher?" And within a fucking second, they could probably know me better than like maybe even what you know me. And you're like one of my best friends. Maybe there's stuff in my phone that you don't even know, you know. And it's like that's kind of freaky, you know. But it's not freaky to the point like, oh my god, they're gonna know about Grant Hatcher. It's about what if they need to know about Grant Hatcher and they need to use that info for something. That's when it becomes freaky because that's they're a whole huge leg up on us that you know that we aren't. You know we you know and that's where it gets a little iffy.
It's interesting on the big data thing because Ben, my
Yeah.
bro, work he works in IT and worked
God
on
damn
big data and worked on big data for the website Bands in Town. You know what that? Have you ever heard of that? Oh shit! Well, it didn't work for you. Anyways, it came up for the first time in years because it was a startup like almost 10 years ago now that Ben was working on, and it came up for a comedian I wanted to see, and I was like, Bands in Town still works, eh? And the website was fucking great, and every little thing that I did was so intuitive, and it came back in just the right way, and I thought, great job. And I messaged Ben and I said, great job, man. The website works really well. He goes, oh, there must have been a really good big data warehouser in there because so anyways, like his whole job was the whole point of that big data was just to make sure that what your interests are came back to you, and that is, on the
Oh,
surface what most big data is, right? Like that's
yeah,
the idea.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's just
So they could reach out.
all the things that you've liked, all the things that you've shown interest in, then it's just going to show you that. That's the whole point of it. And yeah, that's the very non-conspiratorial side of things is just that things are more convenient than ever, and these AI algorithms could actually help us tremendously, really. Like, did you hear apparently AI is to the point now, you've seen everyone's pictures and everyone's going mental over it. I've got people that are saying this is the best, and I've got other people saying if I see an AI picture on your profile, I'm removing you from Facebook. I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's all on right now. Another divisive topic. But apparently AI, in its most advanced form, which is not in any way released to the public, could write and direct and create animation for a whole movie like immediately if it wanted to. Like it
Yeah.
could be like take a pulse on what everyone's interested in and create a movie within, I don't know, like 2 hours, 3 hours or something like that. And then there you are, you have your movie. And how interesting it would be if directors, there was human directors and AI directors.
Oh
Oh
man, that'd
man,
be
just
so sick. It'd be like and it's like, it's almost like the people, it's like, are we going to have the steroid Olympics and the regular Olympics? You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
yeah,
oh man, I think AI could probably do that quicker than 2 hours. Honestly, I really do.
yeah,
And like, it's pretty interesting. The guy, I think it was from Google, came out saying that like, they're sentient, like they're conscious, like AI is now conscious, but there's people who've disagreed. What is conscious? What is not consciousness? You know what I mean? And it's really fascinating because it's like if you think about nature and what nature kind of does, it just kind of replicates and just kind of tries, you know what I mean? It tries to reproduce. If it can't reproduce, it won't reproduce as much, you know, but it's almost like anybody who's done psychedelics, you kind of see things like fractally nature. It just keeps unfolding, unfolding, unfolding. And so it's like here we are now, these humans who've become as conscious as we are in whatever way it is. And now we're trying to recreate consciousness in a sense, you know what I mean? Like, or we're trying to recreate uh what we are in a way, but it's like it feels so far from what we actually are. Like if you think about the advancedness of what a human body is, it's like it's what the level of intelligence is so wild. It's like
a friend of mine told me his theory, just a theory, like it wasn't set in stone or anything, but he was saying that he feels that aliens are technology. Technology is aliens.
mm,
And it can't create organic matter, right? It's impossible for it to create organic matter, so it has to go and find hosts on different planets that will make themselves, because we make technology, right? But it's like something has to make it. They can't make itself, so we have to then be the ones that uses these organic hosts to create new technology on different planets or whatever. That's interesting to say the least.
it's not
Fuck.
even an outrageous possibility, you know what I mean? Like there are
Is it?
things in our nature that tell other things in nature to create things for it. You know what I mean? Like there's mushrooms that'll like fuck around with like an ant's brain and tell it what to do so it can go grow more mushrooms of it. You know what I mean? Like that stuff's happening with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh man, I feel like we're getting closer and closer to the like fabric of reality. Like it's becoming more mainstream to like, you know, psychedelics are more mainstream. And it's like people are like, whether kids are just going out and getting fucked, there's even like people who are like downtrodden men and people who are like doing some pretty hard drugs or out on the street, like those people have some deep insights, man, because they're living on the threshold of reality of life and death sometimes, and like they're with the devil, but they're also with God, man. Like both of those realities are there for them, and it's
Oh,
like
visual,
I'm not saying
man.
we're all gonna die or nothing like that, but it feels like the realities. It's like looser. It's like you can see through the folds a little easier than even a couple of years ago.
And hopefully that trend does continue. And the one thing that I think could what's the word, come in between, let's say, some of those more sinister realities we were talking about and some of the nicer ones might be human consciousness just continuing to flower, really.
I think
Because
so.
if let's say even we created some AI that's meant to work as a judge, let's say, let's take it all the way. Let's say that AI is a better judge than a human could be, as it has more information and it can see things with less bias, and so judges ended up being AI. I just hope to fucking hell that we create these things with empathy imbued, because the truth is everyone is trying their best and many people have been dealt terrifically bad hands, and the actual system of abuse and pain has been running for so long that there's so many people that are caught in this. So if, for example, we use our human brain and we say, well, what do we do with them? Put them in jail. Then if we had, let's say, a voice that's a little less biased and a little more neutral, it could be like, that person does not belong in jail. That's not going to help them. That's going to make it so their life is harder, you know? And you'd be like, oh, we don't want to do that. Well, what do we do? It's like, oh, well, we've set up programs that people can go through in order, you know what I mean? Like there's got to be, I just hope to fuck when these things are being created on a structural level, that they're being imbued with empathy and the ability to see a wider view and picture. Because if that's the case, then it could actually prove to be incredibly helpful. I imagine almost like an AI angel, and you go up to it and you're like, ah, like Susie fucking cheated on me, and the AI is like, yes, but you cheated on her last week, and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's true. Like,
yeah.
you two need to talk about the fundamentals of your relationship, you know,
You
like
need empathy, and you need, but you also need like neutrality so they can be honest. And it's like, and then you can say things to the AI that if you said it to Susie, then it would be like, "Rah," because there's a history there with Susie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that'd be
that's what I
funny.
mean. It's not like a buffer between
Yeah,
these
exactly,
events that might
exactly.
provide some perspective and give some wider view. And
I feel like
if we're
you've been
thinking
that.
long,
You've been that for me a couple of times in relationships.
vice versa, brother. Well, I'm not going to say the name of the person. I just remember when I came to you with the same issue, I don't know, 25, 30 times in about a month and a half, and you actually looked at me and you said, Josh, buddy, I'm done. That's it. Yeah, like you're not listening.
AI is gonna need bars. They're gonna be like, I don't know, drinking like whatever they need to drink. Like,
Yeah, oh
goddamn,
yeah, oh, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I've thought about that though. That like you don't give up on people, but there might come a point where the AI is like, Bud, like if you fucking smoke that joint right now after you just made all those promises, like I'm gonna be so pissed off at you, you know, like or if like you're about to do something a little bit fishy and the AI whispers in your voice, don't do that, man. Like you're gonna regret that. You're gonna regret that at 2:23 on Tuesday the 5th. So just don't even.
It's so interesting to think about, man. And like, me and Emma are watching the show. It's called. Wanna come up, honey? Come on up. Come on. Come on. Good girl. We got a dog, eh? It was just dogs a part of our
Oh,
life.
Willow, no, you're sweetie, it's your test baby.
Come here. Come here. What are you
Get
doing?
on
Look,
up there.
buddy.
Get
Look at
on up
this
there. One of those
girl.
really faces, one
Oh,
of those cute faces everyone loves.
oh, we should have
Lassie,
brought her up first, man. We messed up. That would have been the
Lassie.
big
Oh,
catcher.
true.
Yeah.
That's the 30-second catcher. Yeah. Is that the same as like a Lassie dog?
Yeah, she is. But her father is a little different, and his hair is shorter and a little smaller. So her hair isn't as long as like a lassie. She's about probably 40 pounds and almost full grown. She'll probably be like
Do you
45.
think if you ever fell into a well that she'd be on it?
She'd definitely be freaking out. Yeah. But I don't know if she'd know exactly what to do. Like,
I
but she's
guess
a
the
smart
only thing
girl. Totally
is that,
smart.
as a society, we build very few wells these days, don't we?
I mean, we still
I
build
know you reckon
wells. Or no, yeah,
with
you're right.
open
We tap
with
into like a
open tops. Come on, no one's got those open tops anymore.
no, like
Like
gotta hold the bucket up, Jimmy. Like,
if we just let the kids out in the backyard, they'll be fine. Bark,
so
bark,
true.
bark, 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 bark. What's going on back there? Oh, for fuck's sakes, he fell in a well again.
Man, speaking of falling well, I was like, man, it's so interesting. I haven't really watched
Oh,
TikTok or nothing
time
like
for
that. I got, oh, what's up,
time.
Jody? Jody's got a well, but not a real well though, Jody.
You,
Not like
you use the
not
bucket.
like a bucket up
Yeah,
well.
do you got the bucket? Is it open?
Yeah,
Can the kids
I don't
fall in?
believe that. Yeah,
You got a
yeah.
lassie dog, Jody? You got a lassie dog? Oh, I can't wait to hear as this story unfolds.
Yeah, man. No, it's crazy how far we've come in such a short amount of time. Like, you just look back like to the 80s, man, or 70s. It's not even that long ago, and it's like, man, we are progressing very exponentially. Yeah. No, she does not have the whole. I think there's one on my property where it looks like a little dug well, but I don't know. But I don't even know how many of those wells I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
cover that shit up before you have kids, buddy.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Out
that's
of
really
curiosity, this is a question I shouldn't be asking on Facebook at all. But are you and Emma aimed towards that kind of thing at all, or what are you doing?
wells.
Yeah. Do you think you guys will
You
hand
mentioned this
dig
on
your own well?
Facebook, man. You know how
It's a
the
little
open
Facebook
well
taboo.
community are going to be pissed. Oh
Big
shit!
well's going to be on it.
Big well.
Um, I, that's a big
Kids?
well. Well, yeah, kids is what I was
Oh,
thinking, man.
man,
Do you
yeah,
guys
for
plan?
sure. Yeah, man, we're stoked, honestly. Like, we're super excited. Like, it's really narrowing in to the point where it's like gonna be that time to try for
I
it,
just want
you
our kids to be within relative age, like
know?
basically, you've got 2 years before it's going to become weird afterwards.
Yeah, no, it's gonna yeah, I think Emma's like she kind of wants to before she's 30 sort of thing, so it's like it's we're getting very close. So yeah.
Yeah, cool,
The
cool,
thing
cool,
is
cool.
we want a place where we can settle down too, where we know it's like this is our place at least. Unlike you guys in a van going everywhere.
Yeah,
Uh
there's that, but also just the fact that the structure of our world is becoming so much harder to fulfill that as well.
I
Like,
know. Ours
Christ,
is very close to being we're very lucky with some of the things we have that it's like it's pretty close to that being possible. And like there could be a version of it next year if we wanted to, probably. So it's like we wanna just for me, man, it's like I really just it's like you saw it a little bit at the center. Like I built that little table. Remember the little table to the center where we sat around and stuff like that? And it's like, and I didn't know I could build stuff. And I was like, oh, and I kind of grew that at the center, this like ability to build and do things. So it's like every place I've been now, I've rented or whatever, I've added to it or contributed to it. But like I
so
built
that
a
yeah,
garden,
fuck
this
it.
little villa, like, and it's like, but I know this isn't mine, and it's not like I need to own it, but it's like I want to keep investing into a place that I can grow over years and see what that place turns into. Like that's
Yeah.
really exciting. Yeah.
So, well, I can't wait to be on whatever that is, and I can't wait for you to experience a version of that in Australia too.
We are
That
we
was
are
our
engaged, so we're gonna get married here within the next year or two. So like, when are you gonna be home?
Well, that's the thing is that we were going to come this coming summer, but realized that we don't have money like at all, and our with our bus we actually need money even to keep it alive, even if we're on the other side of the world. So actually, the master plan, my friend, is that I'm finally going to do paid courses over Facebook. And I'm going to do that same style that we've seen before, where you make a private Facebook group and go live in it and roll out the whole thing. They're going to be 3-month courses. I'm going to do 3 of them every year. That's the plan. I'm going to get the first one rolling in February or March, and it's going to be called Transformational Communication, and it's going to be awareness practices combined with communication techniques and live processing. Essentially, man, I'm going to try and run them for 3 months at a time. So, wish me fucking luck, because as of right now, I can hop off and do physical work and make some money in order to keep going, but it's not sustainable, man. Like it's like I can get a pocket, and then as a family, we fucking piss through that pocket faster than you could ever imagine, man. It's crazy,
Crazy.
but things cost a lot here too, man. Like
Yeah.
$50 an hour is pretty much what anyone who has like self value charges. Like that's just a normal wage, and prices here reflect that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's trippy. So Jody asked, how much is the bus costing you? Is it bad like a mortgage? We paid off the whole bus in full to begin with, so it cost $45,000. 14,000 was the bus itself. Let's say fucking 6,000 has been just maintenance on the bus itself, and the other 30 to 33 was the actual build itself. That's all paid off though, so we don't have any debt, which is excellent. The diesel is 250 a liter here, and we're on diesel, and it drives for about 4 hours on one full tank. So the big killer for us is absolutely fuel. And luckily, because it's diesel, we might be able to do a veggie oil conversion or some sort of biodiesel conversion at some point. So that'll be something for us to fuck with. But until that's the case, um, it just costs us a lot of money just for that, and groceries as well. Groceries and diesel doubled all at once, and the income that we were working with, which is just a little, it's hard to explain, but it cut in half. And so suddenly we had like half as much money, and everything doubled in cost. So that ended up putting us in a funny position, man, where we didn't, and no problem, Jody, thanks for saying it, hit up those food bags. I suggested that to Lily once, and she was like, that's not where we are. I was like, okay. um, we so anyways, the first 2 months of travel was just fixing all of the problems, because as we hit off, it was like, oh fuck, everything was only half good. So damn it, go back, fix up all the problems again. I went tree planting, and it was good, but we pissed through that money in 4 weeks. Like it took no time at all. 2 months of work, and almost nothing to show for it. Um, and then for 3 months, we were living at a farm, which was amazing, but there was a feeling of, fuck, are we traveling? Are we not traveling? What are we doing here? And then just recently, Lily was actually, you know what? Fuck it. We've been betwixt and between. Let's just go and have some fun. So last month we spent 3 weeks traveling, and every morning we were at a water location so we could swim with the kids. Every afternoon we went to a new one, swam with the kids, had a nap, and every afternoon, late evening, we had another swim somewhere else, and then we slept for the night. We're about to go and do that for a month and a half, and we're leaving in less than a week. So we're leaving in like 5, 6 days, and we're going to do that for a whole month and a half. And look at that. My rich psychology friend goes to the food bank weekly. They throw the food out if no one takes it. So you're all traveling. I agree. You talk to Lily. Give Lily a pep talk here on what it means, because I've had that thought a couple of times now. Anyways, so we're about to do it again and just have fun. And then we're coming back to actually ground. I'm going to do some physical work and set up these courses at the same time. So it's going to be 3 days working a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And the 2 days to go live for this course will be Mondays and Fridays. And we're just going to see if we can just get this fucking thing going, man. Like I've been wanting to, but not wanting to, because I still have this fucking communist heart that doesn't want to charge people money for things. I'm happy to just keep doing this. And I think honestly, if it wasn't for having children, I would just keep doing what I was doing forever. Like I'd probably
Totally.
just keep on
Totally.
kicking
Yeah.
her, kicking her along, going tree planting, making a little bit of money, and then just
Yeah. It's
eating
easy when
bread.
you're by yourself, and it's like the more you add on, the more difficult it becomes. There's more people and
I've
things at
noticed.
stake.
Also the more support. There's been
Yeah,
more
true.
support than I've ever had in my life. It is somehow a combination of both more responsibility and more support,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Jody just asked, "Wait, what's the course?" I'm going to launch a transformational communication course coming up. It'll be March or February as a launch, and the idea is that it's going to be every week a live stream and prompts from written material that we give, and a 2-hour clearing session. During that 2-hour clearing session, we're not going to record. Me and Grant have been up against this like 50 fucking times. You can't really record people when they're talking about deep traumas or the fact that they might have had an abusive relationship with their parents, or you can't do that. So we're not recording that 2 hour clearing portion. We're just going to record all the teachings and have it so it's all set up in a PDF form or whatever, with prompts that come out through a Facebook group for posts. Anyways, I'm going to try and do it as $200 per month for 3 months, so $50 a week. And I feel so nervous even saying that. I feel so much damage when it comes to money, especially being from Nova Scotia, where everyone's fucking poor and everyone's there to help each other. It's a beautiful kind of half
Do
gift
it, man.
economy
It's
there.
a big world. Tap into that. Yeah, do it. Yeah, for sure. You
And
deserve it.
Jody, you want to come on and do a live on trauma? I'd absolutely love that, my love. We'll set that up for if not next week, the week afterwards. Okay, we'll talk after this. You got to get Messenger to talk to me though, girl. Anyways, that's the structure though. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what would be the best structure, what would be a fair price, what would be the output that we're doing, and that's what we've come up with. So bear with me, because there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to advertise a lot. But the truth is, my Facebook peeps are not the peeps that I'm really going to be aiming towards, just
Yeah,
because like
what's your platforms that you got out
this
there now?
is
Like,
a community of fun, and if anyone who wants to join in, I'm fucking stoked for. But I don't want to just be the one group of people, because we've created something a little different here. It's a very open and loving community, and if the one thing I'm going to ask from everyone, it's like, look, I plan to keep on doing this, for free for forever. If you could at least share my little advertisement here, that'd be super helpful. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do paid ads all over Facebook. In the live streams leading up to it, I'm just gonna keep talking about those things, and then we're just gonna cut them up and put them on stories with links to the course, and put them on Instagram stories with links to the course, and put it on TikTok with links to the course. We're just gonna try and just take little snippets that have things that are relevant or helpful, and just flood all these different places. And if I can get between 10 and 20 people to do it, that would be an income that would be sustainable for me and my family to travel.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
and again, even the way I just worded that, if I can, why the fuck couldn't I get 10 people to come and sit and do something that's helpful and transformative? Like, it's just, I do have issues in my solar plexus that affect my root. And the fun part is this course on transformational communication is going to be how to speak like that, to talk about our own chakra system, or I'm going to call it layers of intelligence, but to talk about our intelligence systems and see where they do have issues, and just it's about honesty. And
yes,
when it comes to these communication techniques, the big focus of this course is that you're not going to do it correctly, because when we set things up with a set of principles, then we go, okay, dogmatically, this is the way I need to do it. From now on, I'm only going to speak for this prompt, and I'm going to do it like this. Everyone I know that does that becomes dogmatic and actually ends up subconsciously abusing the systems that we're creating. People do that
right.
with nonviolent communication all the fucking time, man. If
Yes.
you actually like,
Just
that's
the, I think the nature of what it is you're trying to do, though, is it's like almost impossible for that to happen in a way, right? Like, because it's
well,
about
because it's going to be written into the course. Yeah, it'll be
yeah,
written
if
into
you
the
get
course.
into the course, I guess, but it's like, I mean, I guess I know the exact practice you're talking about because we've done it so many times together, just living together, basically. So it's like I know what it looks like, I know what it feels like in action, and it's almost like it's kind of difficult to like make that dogmatic in a way. You know what I mean? It's like you
Well,
just gotta
we're
allow for the
creating it.
various levels of expression, that everybody's gonna
One of
have.
them, one of them, for example, is going to be I feel statements, like in
Yeah,
nonviolent communication. But the way that people twist and pervert that one is they'll use I feel statements to get the other person to change, or to think differently. So the
feel
whole
that.
thing in I feel statements is this has almost, even though this is a communication course, it has almost nothing to do with the other person. It's being able to state out loud in an internal and external fashion what's happening, and that by its very nature creates new awareness in ourselves and the people around us, and it will lead to a transformational effect. So it's an interesting, yeah, thank you, I agree. I've spent a lot of fucking time trying to make sure that these things can't become dogmatic, and that practice that you and I are talking about, it was actually Lily who was like, sweetheart, you don't see it because you're living this all the time, but this is actually something a lot of people don't know how to do, and it's been very helpful for me. She was saying, she's like, you got to find a way to just make this into a fucking course. So anyways, this will be a course, and I think that at first I was going to do pre-recorded videos. I fucking blow chunks at pre-recorded videos. I feel like I'm I don't know. It doesn't work for me. So I'm going to do it all live as well. The whole thing is going to be just live streams with each of the principles that are happening that we're working with, and plenty of opportunity for practice. It's going to be $200 per person, like I said, per month, but I'm going to make an option for 300 for couples, because the more couples that are actually in there practicing this, the better. Like it'll make it the better on one level. I have to just say something kind of
Yes.
funny. But you
Yeah.
know what it's like with couples, right? Like
Yeah,
think of
totally.
the
You got your partner there. You're like, oh shit.
suddenly
Yeah.
exactly suddenly I'm in the middle of it all and I'm like, well, have you said this and have you thought
Yeah,
about this? So I'm
yeah,
try
yeah, yeah.
try really hard not to get into that either, and keep on referring to the solid course material that we have, which will
Dog.
cover most and
I'm
that's the
sorry.
other thing is how do you write
It's
down shit
hard,
like this?
man. I've been baffling with this type of idea. We both been for a long time, man. It's very difficult, and
Yeah,
it's
kills
difficult, man.
me man, like
I
it's a
think
thing that
you're aware of it enough that it's, you know, yeah, it'll
I'm gonna
be.
write. There's gonna be a whole portion of that if you're using this to try and change people, and if other people are, you find people are like, oh, have you heard of this transformational communication method? And then people are trying to manipulate you. That's a form of abuse, and it's a
Yeah.
form of psychological abuse
Yeah.
that yeah.
Literally,
So I just
I
have to
remember
keep.
somebody, like, fucking
I
me
just
over
gotta-
one time, and then, like, they're being like, "I'm really uncomfortable with the way you're talking right now. Like, you're not using nonviolent communication." It was like, "Yeah, because you fucking fuck shit up, motherfucker." It's like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah,
So that's
yeah.
so
Just
that's
using that,
something.
yeah, yeah,
I just feel like that exact thing that you just described. I'm using nonviolent communication as my model for how to do better, because
that's a
people do
superficial
take.
level, man. And it's like creating. It's like if you create TikTok with the pure intention of I want to be able to have people communicate, and it's like you could use TikTok for this or you could use it for that. You know what I mean? And it's like in general, what you're trying to create, it's mostly you want to use it for this, but it's like some people are going to try to use it for that, but it's just the way it's going to be. You know what I mean? And it's like, and
Luckily,
it's
with because consent is built into the course as well. It's
yeah,
like you can't really get that far because you can't be
exactly.
like you can't
It's
spring shit
harder and
on the people.
harder to pull those tricks now, man. It's harder and harder to pull those tricks now. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And I
people
think
will fucking try. So that's why I feel really adamant about making sure that to just create as many safeguards as possible throughout the whole thing, and
yeah.
to say that like we've got like there's like 9 different communication techniques. It's like some of them might work with others, and other people might say, "Hey, I actually don't like that, so please don't."
Yeah.
That's okay,
And that's the
like that would
built-in
be that's
mechanism that makes it all work. It's like, here's a guide, but the guide might not work for you, kind of, but it's the general idea, and it's that general idea, man. It's very powerful. And it's if you've never ever experienced that level of communication of freedom and safety, uh, to just be open and express in the moment what you're feeling, even with yourself, you know what I mean? It's profound, man. You cut through so much bullshit so quick. It's like, wow, this thing we've been fighting about for 40 years, Janice. We just had to get to this part of it, and then it would have been so much easier. But yeah. So I think no matter what, man, it's gonna be really helpful and really important and needed. So
Thanks, brother. When the time comes, I might ask for the support of um, a share, or maybe I
oh,
mean might even have guest teachers, man. I don't really know what we're
yeah,
gonna do
whatever
with this
it is,
whole
man,
thing.
whatever it is you need, man, whatever, and it's like we're all kind of plugged. We have some core group of friends who are all plugging away in one way or another, and it's like to
So
see
I'd
their
love to bring
growth.
it all together, man. Love to bring all
Dude, yeah,
Ethereal Misfits works as a banner as well. We're still
yeah.
keen for the fact that
It's
all
like,
of our
cool.
friends are Ethereal
We're all
Misfits.
we're not struggling. We're all kind of trying to get to that place. So it's like we all
Anthony's doing a great job, man. He's actually got a good financial and creative outlet that's working for him. So I know people that are doing it. It's time, but the point of what you were saying, sorry, is when are we going to come to Australia? Canada from Australia, and the truth is, I just need to create that first because we can't. It's going to cost us like fucking $8,000 for plane tickets, right? Because we've got 4 people now. So like, I'm going to have some sort of sustainable, travelable income in order to make this thing work. And I think I know this is gonna be the key. The question
yeah.
is, yeah, I just see the jitters in my fucking body while I'm talking about it, man.
It's so funny that solar plexus, right between like the heart and then like you feel right that ball. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
I have to drive for the next couple of minutes while we wrap up. So Have you ever seen a live stream with a driver?
Not anything good usually.
You know what this is actually called? This is a drive stream.
A drive stream. You get your driver, buddy.
So as we're wrapping up, though, I actually just look at the time. I have to check out of a caravan park, and so I just have to be there to pack up. So I got to go. I love you so fucking much, man.
Love you too, Josher.
Thanks for the chat. Thank you so much, Jody, for coming in and participating. Thank you, Mark, for coming in and sending your message as well. I love you. I love you guys beyond it all. And I love Grant that we probably could have just kept talking for the next 3 hours if we were given the space.
Totally, brother. I love you, man. Take care and be safe. And yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.